So securing your sponsor, targeting your prospects. I'm an old-fashioned salesperson, and I really do believe that what you've got to do is just hustle and move it. You can be strategic, and the best place to start is to be strategic and to think about your primary targets. We'll go back to Alex selling sailing. It's traditionally, primarily, a sport of the quite well-heeled. Therefore, you want to think about primary targets being brands that speak to people who are well-heeled. So that's people like Rolex, high-level cars, computer products, that type of thing, advanced technology, Louis Vuitton, etc. And then you need to look for relevance. So again, when it comes to sailing, somebody that's interested in, I don't know, wind, not something that's entirely mechanical driven like gasoline, which is all about lubricants and engines. That's not what sailing's about. So it's something that's very relevant to your sport. And you also need to identify your rationale. You need to say to yourself, why would this company be interested in sponsoring my property? And that's what I consider a strategic approach, really giving it some serious thought. Why should they do this? Why would I be calling them? What would be their interests? And then once I've done that, and either exhausted all my possibilities or drafted up my list and thought it's not big enough, I move on to expand my list with secondary targets. These are ones that have less obvious association, but I can still cook up a story about why they might be interested. And then my third position is, it's a numbers game. At the end of the day, the more people you call, the more people will say yes. More people will say no as well, but you'll get closer to your yeses for every no that you get past. So I always believe that when you're selling your sponsorship, and to be frank, when you're selling anything in this world, you try and be strategic, and you never know, you might hit lucky in that first set of calls in the first 3 weeks. If not, move on to the next set, which is other people that you can quite justify. But fundamentally, it's a numbers game. You've just got to pick up that phone and talk to people, give out your business cards and hustle. And I put don't second guess a client at the bottom there, because everything I just said about sailing and well-heeled and this, that and the other might go entirely out of the window if the person on the other end of the phone or sat on the opposite of the desk either likes you, their son or daughter participates in that sport, they know somebody else who's done it, or they used to do it themselves. So I always say don't second guess, take that list as a principle and approach things that way, because then you can be structured. But don't second guess what the guy on the other end of the phone is going to say. Don't say, well, actually, I'm not going to call him because I don't think he's going to like sailing, because I don't think he speaks to people who are well-heeled. Pick up the phone anyway. For the sake of a call, you might as well. So that's my approach to how I start off securing a sponsor.